Hello and welcome to our little support system introduction. I'm your host, Jeff Curry, otherwise known as the Support Overlord, and today I will demystify all those little acronyms you see in your browser toolbar, hopefully. And with any luck, you'll know how to respond to customers so you can stop taking it easy on the sidelines and get in the game. Are you excited yet? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know where we came from, you won't know where we're headed, so I'll break down our support systems a bit from the beginning to now, give you a taste of our support queues, and then send you on your way to experience the wonders of our support system by filing requests and responding to robots. As you can tell by now, we may or may not have the budget or time for actual robots or programs or scripts or anything fancy like that, but I promise you'll experience our support systems nonetheless. Isn't this beautiful? How I miss the internet from the turn of the century. The important bit to understand at this time is that Atlassian started as a support company. How cool is that? But as they grew, Mike and Scott needed a way to track their requests and their progress. All the options at the time, whether free or expensive, weren't good, to put it lightly. Enter Jira, named after the French death metal band Gojira, rock on. Mike and Scott developed an issue tracker that was good enough. Ayo! Also revolutionary for the time was the ability to download enterprise software from a web page and see exactly how much a license cost to use Jira past the free trial period. And for a time, it was good. Tickets were flowing, you see, but ideas as well. They were getting lost in endless email chains. Ideas are fragile creatures, and they needed a loving home to become the actions that got divided into tickets. You see where I'm going with this? Can't put nothing past you. Atlassian grew to a dozen or so people at this point, and they needed a way to collaborate. Oh, trust me, they tried looking at available options first, and just couldn't settle on mediocrity. And thus, Confluence was made. These were the days before rounded corners were invented. World of Warcraft just came out, and a full 3 years before the first iPhone made an appearance. Oh, what a time to be alive back in the dark ages. Around the same time, support moved from email chains into its own Jira instance at support.atlassian.com. If you've been counting, that's 3 instances to rule them all so far. Jira.atlassian.com for bugs and features, Confluence.atlassian.com for documentation, and support.atlassian.com for, you guessed it, support. 2006 was a good year for customer advocates. They no longer had to process orders by hand using Excel spreadsheets. Enter my.atlassian.com, where customers could manage their software licenses automatically. While the knowledge base began a few years earlier, C4L got serious about knowledge-centered support, released Answers in 2011, and made knowledge creation a part of our day-to-day operations. Backtracking a bit here, it was always possible to extend the functionality of our products with plugins, but it wasn't until 2009 we realized we should put them all in one place. 3 years later, we took it to the next level. Not only can you browse the marketplace and install plugins from within our products with the Universal Plugin Manager, but we'll handle all the billing and subscription services as well. Now customers can shop, try, and buy plugins in one location from one company. It's a beautiful thing, really. Last but not least, we took the massive developer spaces out of Confluence.atlassian.com and turned it into its own site, developers.atlassian.com. Now developers could easily access the information needed to extend our products without having to rein in all the product documentation to do so. Let's recap for a minute here. If you've been counting, that's 8 different systems with 6 different logins. What's a poor customer to do? Ta-da! 1 login, multiple sites. It's a beautiful thing, really. I don't even pretend to know how this voodoo works, so I consider it magic and move on with my life. History lesson over. Let's talk about now, right now. A website acts as our resume, informing customers what our products do and enticing them to try some out. Once they like what they see, they can purchase licensing here and upgrade user tiers to their heart's content. From there, it's anyone's guess, but surely they'll read our product documentation for installation guides and check out the marketplace for additional features. They may even read up on our developer resources to automate tasks or custom fit our product to their needs. They'll no doubt come across our bug tracker eventually, hopefully for features and not because something is broken. But if so, 80% of our customers will search around for an answer before finding their way to us. And they'll only need one account for all this fun. Head exploded yet? No? Allow me to demonstrate the support request lifecycle first. To start, a request goes from created to open. Ignore all the arrows from here on. It just means that you can jump from one state to pretty much all other states. More restrictive workflows are more like a roller coaster ride. You can only go from one state to another state and nothing else in between. And if you're on our cloud support teams, you most likely won't have an open step at all. I'll explain why next. We begin with triaging. Does the request have enough information to troubleshoot the reported problem? If so, move to last and investigating. If not, inform the customer about what additional information is needed, and it will put in waiting for customer from there. Our cloud requests go straight into Atlassian Investigating, since we can get more information ourselves if needed for the most part. We can then either update the customer of our progress, which leaves the status as Atlassian Investigating, or bounce to the customer, which moves the status to waiting for customer. Any response from the customer will move this request back into Atlassian Investigating. The majority of our requests go no further than these, eventually becoming closed as the problem is resolved. Not all problems are created equal, and that is where internal escalation comes in. If you get stuck and no one on your team knows how to proceed, you'll see this status. A senior support engineer or even just an experienced support engineer will assist you further. The more support engineers assisting with internal escalations, the better, I say. This one, however, should be left up to the senior support engineers or acting senior support engineers. Our developer on support will look into these further. Transfer requests from other regions that came in during your time zone, say for an outage in the middle of the customer's nighttime. This will remove the request from your region's wallboard and appear on the transfer regions one. Be kind and hand over appropriately. Don't just throw things over the fence. That's rude. We provide an escalate this issue link on all our requests for customers to use at any time they feel their issue requires urgent attention. This will make the request visible on all regions, and our managers and directors become notified if an escalated issue isn't responded to as soon as possible. It's a beautiful thing, really. I know what you're thinking, and no, not every customer presses the escalate button. If you feel any customer is abusing this feature, help them first, then inform your team lead. As in life, always assume the best of intentions before suspecting foul play. Moving on, customers may request more time, so we provide the frozen status. Issues reopen in 3 weeks unless we hear back sooner. The remaining 4 statuses are related to closing support requests, with close being the end-all be-all. There's no more work that's needed. Resolution suggested in an active pending closure are holding pens that move to resolved if the customer selects resolve issue or if we don't hear back from them. An issue that's resolved means we still need to double check a few things, which we call the wrap-up process. And with that, I'm happy to report that we're done here. I'm going to pause here for a moment so you can take it all in. It's a beautiful thing, really. Now you're ready for our SAC workshop. Go forth, and thanks for coming in today.